Let's take a look at another example, which is in the middle of the array. In this case, I'm trying to search for 189, which is at index number 9. So we start the process again. We have to identify the start index, which is 0, and the end index, which is the last index in the array. We calculate the midpoint, which is going to be 0 plus 31 and 15. We're going to compare the number we are trying to search with the midpoint. So 189 with 418. 189 is smaller than 418. This means the right half of the array is going to be discarded because the element is going to be somewhere on the left side of the midpoint. So what happens in this case? We are going to move our end index to midpoint minus 1. A new midpoint is calculated by 0 plus 14 divided by 2, which is going to be 7. The number at the midpoint is 116, which is smaller than the number that we are searching for. What does this mean? This means that the number that we are searching for is going to be on the right side of the array. It cannot be on the left side because all the numbers that are smaller than the midpoint are on the left side. So we are going to discard the left side of this array. In this case, we are going to increase the starting index. We're going to move the starting index to midpoint plus 1. Remember, always, if we want to move the starting index, it's going to be midpoint plus 1. If we want to move the ending index, it's going to be end index minus midpoint. A new midpoint is going to be calculated. 8 plus 14 divided by 2, which is going to be 11. So now we're going to compare the number again. In this case, we see that the number that we are searching for is less than the element that is at the midpoint. So this means we are going to discard the right side of the array. In this case, we're going to move the end index. Remember, when we are moving the ending index, it's going to be midpoint minus 1. So it's going to be 10. We're going to calculate a new midpoint, 8 plus 10 divided by 2, which is going to be 9. At this point, we are going to compare. In this case, we will see that the number matches. This means the number at the midpoint is equal to the number that we are searching for. This means we have found the element. So we are going to return the index at which it was found, which is 9. With these three examples, you can see that the number that we are trying to search is always going to be at the midpoint. Midpoint is the point that we are searching for the element. Eventually, the element that we are searching for is going to be identified as a midpoint. As the last example, let's see what happens if the number does not exist in the array.